Hello everyone, my name's Katie Cotton and I'm here to introduce you to The Secret of Splint Hall, which is my first book. And this book is about the Second World War. Now you might already know about the Second World War, you might be studying it in school, or you might have read another book that's set during this time. There are loads of amazing books out there. However, this one is a little bit different, and that's because it actually starts when the World War ends, so in 1945. And when people think about the end of the war, they often think about VE Day. You might have seen some of those black and white pictures, lots of people dancing in the streets, there's bunting, there's celebrating, lots of people hugging, everyone seems very happy. And then I think there's this idea that things just go back to normal, so everyone just goes back to their lives before the war and things are okay. And that's not really what happened, at least for some people, and that's because war tends to leave its mark. And it certainly does on the main character in this book, Isobel. So Isobel goes to Splint Hall, this huge grand house you can see on the cover here, with her sister, Flora, older sister, and her mum. And the reason that they're going there to stay with their auntie, Isobel's auntie B, is because they've lost their home in a bombing raid. And not only that, they've also lost Isobel's father, Peter. He was killed in action. He was a pilot during the war. So Isobel's lost quite a lot during the war. And while this was unlucky to have both those things happen to you, it actually wasn't unusual. There would have been a fair few kids like Isobel in that situation. So anyway, when Isobel and Flora get to Splint Hall, they realise that it's a house that's full of secrets. So Auntie B has got a horrible husband, Mr Godfrey, who's always receiving mysterious visitors and deliveries in the night, and they don't know why. And they meet a boy called Simon, whose family used to work at the house at Splint Hall. And he's always snooping around the air raid shelter, and they can't, he won't tell them why. But somehow, when Mr Godfrey's about to catch him, because he thinks he's stealing, he manages to evade capture by going into the air raid shelter, and they think, well, how's he doing that? Where's he going? And then they learn that their late grandfather, Lord Burlington, was obsessed with dragons, even though he was a grown man. So what's that about? And one day, when they're out visiting some caves, Isobel sees something very, very scary indeed. And it makes her think that actually perhaps the war isn't over, that there's a threat coming from deep below the ground that needs to be stopped. And this book is about how Isobel, Flora and Simon and his brother Pat go on the adventure of a lifetime to discover the truth about Splint Hall and stop that threat from destroying the world. So I hope you enjoy the book if you do read it, and thanks for listening.